Hello, everyone. Welcome to 2019-2020 school year. Can you believe we're already here at 2020? So the purpose of this presentation is to inform you of all the changes and updates for the new school year without a mandated in-person session. I know everyone's schedules are a little bit too busy to try to do that. And this way you can go back and reference things that were mentioned in the presentation for your records and ask questions if you need to. First up, big changes. Welcome to Wildcat Country. We are now the Wildcats. All four CCAC campuses and our three centers are under the same mascot. Students are allowed to play sports at any campus. This is a big change from the previous year, but now each campus is only home to two sports. For example, South is now home to bowling for men and women's softball. Men's baseball, which had a huge presence in these previous years, is now housed at Boys Campus, but South students, along with Allegheny and North students, are allowed to play at Boys, and our students are allowed to play basketball at the Allegheny campus if they like to as well. Darren Lesher is still the South Campus coordinator for athletics, and Tori O'Donnell is the new athletics director. She is at Allegheny campus in College Office. The student life staff consists still of Dean, myself, and Bobby. Our staff is still a little bit small. We're still in the middle of hiring another student development specialist, so my availability may not be as frequent as I'd like it to be, so I'm asking everyone to please send me emails all the time. I'm here from 9 to 5 every day, in contrast to the rest of the staff, which are here from 8:30 to 4:30, and of course Bobby's only here Monday through Friday from 10 to 3. She is part-time. Student Organization Fair has been combined with the Fall Fest Fair and is now moved to Wednesday in week 3 on September 4th. The winter market is still at the end of the semester of this semester and has been condensed into one day and combined with the Winter Games Carnival at the end of the term. There will also be an emphasis on selling handmade items over trying to do kind of a flea market type thing, but we'll have more information soon. Committees for the Medieval Fair, which will be in April of 2020, will start convening in October, which is much earlier in the past. Wildcat News is an online site that students are allowed to submit news stories, comics, and more. There is no South presence on there currently. We would like to see some students submit things to that. Now, Wildcat News is advised by Rob Villella, my counterpart at North Campus, but we are looking for one student to be that campus editor who will edit stories for AP style. Students are also free to submit their own content as long as it's their own. The overall profit from the 5K, which will be held on October 20th, will go into the student government account, and student organizations can request for that money for their events or their trips. But students are also allowed to fundraise for the individual student organization of their choice in kind of a walkathon and have people sponsor them. And they are able to do that starting later in August, early September. Policies. Now, please let us know by September 4th who is returning to your club and organization and send me an updated roster by the end of September. The group must have representation at the two activities fair, which will be one on September 4th, and the spring one will be on January 29th, 2020. But I don't want it to stop there. I encourage your groups to do membership drives in the hallways, socials on the mezzanine, and more. The only thing I ask is keep us posted on what your group is doing so that we can also promote it. My suggestion is to try to do your major recruitment events in the first 6 weeks in the fall and the first 3 weeks in the spring. That's when you're going to get the most attention. Now, active members and officers in your group should be in good academic standing at the least. Some groups, including our honor societies, have higher GPA standards. This means they cannot have academic or disciplinary restrictions and a minimum GPA of a 2.0 accumulative. A406 is the designated meeting room / workspace for student organizations. It cannot be reserved by outside organizations, and we are asking our student groups to try and use that room first. The room seats 10 around the conference table with an additional space for 4 more. We also know that some groups don't use A406 because of its setup, but we still need you to contact Bobby to arrange a different space if you're going to do that, or at least let us know where you're going to be meeting. We need to know these meeting times for all of our clubs so that we can put them in publications and on bulletin boards, so that if a student asks us if they would like to participate, we can tell them where your meeting is. Same thing for events. We need Bobby to know, we need myself to know where these things are taking place. The 3 tables that are on B4 Commons have to be reserved ahead of time. Any organization inside and outside the college is allowed to reserve them. So please make sure that if you're going to do some sort of tabling event at the B4 Commons or even on the mezzanine, that you put this schedule in with Bobby. We have a new board outside the Student Life Career Services / Perkins Suite for student organization information, including in addition to the space in the cafeteria. Meeting minutes will also be put there as well when we get those in. Groups can put up their own flyers for groups. A list of weekly student organization times will be posted there every week. If you have a large poster that you would like printed and posted, please send the posters to the email address pictured no less than 2 weeks prior to when you want them printed. The reason being is that poster space is at a premium and our work studies here are very limited hours, so it's important to get those in early for us. Groups are responsible for posting their own flyers on the college bulletin boards and must follow the rules of conduct as outlined in the student handbook. If you want a social media post at Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, we need at least 2 weeks as well. The money allocated on July 1st cannot be donated to a charity at the end of the year, and if unused, will go into the Student Government Permanent Fund for use on future campus improvements voted on by the students. Fundraising is strongly encouraged, and there are some groups that already have established fundraisers, including Gaming Society's Pies and Pittsburgh Popcorn Sales, Phi Theta Kappa's Printer Cartridge Recycling and Fudge, Abel's Sarah's Holiday Fundraising, and Art Club's Hoagie Sales and Art Sales. Bake sales and 50/50s are not permitted here at South. Money fundraised must not be held overnight and can be dropped off with Bobby in the office or kept in the safe in student accounts. Please make sure that your club has a treasurer or someone at least in charge of the budgeting and fundraiser, and that the advisor and student life office are kept in communications on the going-ons of the budget and fundraising. It takes a few weeks to order items, including even things from Amazon. If a vendor doesn't have a purchase order with CCAC, it may take even longer. It takes a minimum of 3 weeks to get an item in, so please plan accordingly. Now, current college policy states that if you want to attend an athletic competition, a play, or a public event in the area that's off campus, an advisor, either the club advisor or student life staff or designated staff person, has to be present. We cannot just purchase a block of tickets because a trip request still has to be placed. But students don't have to drive in a college vehicle. If the event is at PNC Park or the Benedum, you still have to do a trip request, get waivers and releases, but you don't need to travel in a college vehicle to get there. Travel, if you're doing local travel, such as those events that we just talked about, give it about 30 days. If there is an overnight trip, and it's just with hotels, campsites, or pre-conference registration and some meals, give us at least 45 days. 60 days minimum if you're doing multi-day travel, bigger conferences, multiple nights in hotels, multiple rooms, and even car rentals. If you're doing airfare but you have to prepay for it, you need probably closer to 90 days to get the check-in to pay for your airfare. All trips require information, release forms, and approval from the Student Development Office, Business Office, and President's Office. For more information, refer to the updated advisor guide for CCAC South Campus and the current CCAC student travel policies on the website. That's also where trip requests are as well. Some important dates coming up this semester, and the Welcome Back Breakfast is already done. We did put out information about all of our clubs, the same with the Leadership Ice Cream Social, so you'll be getting the results from these things coming up. Now, the coffee and evening community coffee and trivia socials, the first one will start on Tuesday, September 3rd, and Wednesday, September 4th, the first Tuesday and Wednesday night of every month. And then Fall Fest is the Fall Fest Picnic and Involvement Fair, free food and gifts, music and prizes on the front lawn. If it rains, we are going to move it inside, but every group needs to have representation at this event from 11 to 2 p.m. The Winter Games Carnival and Market will be on December 4th from 11 to 3, and then during the Spring 2020 semester, the Welcome Back Breakfast is January 13th and 14th, the Winter Activities Fair is January 29th, Medieval Fair on April 29th, and Student Life Awards Banquet on May 1st. Just remember, September 4th, a list of students that are returning to the 18-19 school year. September 30th, a club roster of members and officers is due. October 7th, a representative should have attended at least one student government meeting by this point. And November 22nd, a plan of what your group will be selling at the Winter Games Carnival and Market if you're participating. I'd like to thank all of you personally once again for stepping up and helping our students and advising them. We've seen some great things with our advisors and the relationships that they've developed inside and outside the classroom. We'd like you to continue being an advisor, and if you ever have any questions, feel free to email me. I will do the best I can to get back to you, but thanks again for that, and have a great year, and go Wildcats.